Welcome everybody to this event called How the Ukrainian IT sector and industry is still standing against all odds. Digital Europe has really been very supportive towards Ukraine. This attack from Russia has come as a big surprise for many of us, and we are doing as an industry everything we can help to support the Ukrainian IT society and of course the society as a whole. It is really also amazingly interesting to see how this Ukrainian ICT sector is still standing. A little bit against all odds, but it also shows how the digital sector of Ukraine has been strengthened in the last many years. It is a sector with 300,000 people now, and is growing between 25 and 30% year over year. Right now, they are still supporting their clients all over the world, and they are basically, of course, also helping in Ukraine to maintain all the IT services going. It's also good to see, how the global community have entrusted the Ukrainian ICT sector basically to be still up and running, still carrying the contracts with them, renewing their contracts. And this is extremely important for both right now, Ukraine and their defense and their function of the society, but also for the rebuilding, hopefully very soon, once the war will be over. Right now, there is 2 million refugees. They will need infrastructure. They will need services, IT services here in Europe, but there will also be still more than 40 million people in Ukraine that right now that is in need of communication, of IT services, and many other things. This is a sector that is absolutely essential for the communication, for the rebuild, and for the coordination of Ukraine right now. We have not only IT Ukraine with us today, but also two companies who will tell how they have built contingency plans, business contingency plans, since the attack in 2014, and therefore also are able to basically function as an industry during these times of war. We also actually in Digital Europe have other organizations who are really supporting Ukraine in this terrible situation. We have the IT Association of Moldova with the leader of Marina, and we have, for example, Slovakia, ITAS of Slovakia with the leader of Mario, who are helping students. They have developed very close ties to Ukraine through many years, developing ICT skills, exchanging students, running ICT projects and skills projects together. And right now we are all in the same boat. We try to host refugees. We send, of course, humanitarian aid. Digital Europe also been quite clear with the Council, European Council, that we really need to bolster our cybersecurity resources and funding, both to support Ukraine, but also basically to make sure that we have resilience in the future. Right now, we are looking at the RRF, so the funding from the EU, and how can we redirect some of this funding to a resilience and really building our cybersecurity defense and resilience of Europe in the future. We have also highlighted that critical infrastructure is also telecommunication infrastructure, mobile infrastructure, and many other things. And Digital Europe is helping to facilitate this equipment being shipped into Ukraine to make sure that we can rebuild the IT infrastructures as the Russian forces are destroying it bit by bit when they are moving in. So there is still a lot to do. And one of the things that we can do is to tell about an ICT industry in Ukraine, which is really holding strong. They've been extremely professional and predicting, what will we actually do if this situation is happening. Therefore, we still have an industry and company up and running. Let me welcome the Executive Director of IT Ukraine, the IT Association of Ukraine, Konstantin, who we have been working closely with to basically understand what we can do for the Ukrainian ICT industry. welcome, Konstantin, to this event. Let me start by asking you, I mean, how is the industry? How are you doing? How are you holding up?
Thank you, Cecilia. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this opportunity to speak, and thank you for your support and your readiness to assist our, so let's say, to assist the whole Europe overcome this challenge. So speaking about Ukrainian industry, yeah, really, we so many of Ukrainian IT specialists joined the armed forces, in particular those who had experience in military action and during previous years. So we fight for our country. We speak about 2% of people who working in IT because they have military experience, or they want to take guns and go to defend our country fighting with the Russian Federation. So, but of course, all companies deeply respect such choice and highly support such people and their families, and they save their jobs till they return. By no means. All other specialists do their job, and relocation took time, but companies now established about 80 up to 80% of staff is already safe and doing their tasks. So I mean that now we in absolutely safe conditions, because some people were relocated to European countries before the war, some people relocated to more safer areas of Ukraine, and now we doing our daily routine and completing tasks to support projects and customers which we have now. So everything is working. So we shown up resilience, high level of resilience, and ability to continue business.
It's quite amazing. I mean, I think that many companies can basically learn from your ability to do this contingency planning. I mean, how will you basically act in times of crisis? And I think this is a very valuable skill that has supported basically the function of the industry. So there are 300,000 specialists in Ukraine. I mean, how does the industry in Ukraine put at help their services to the government the best? And how can the foreign companies, so we have 36,000 companies as member in Digital Europe, and many of them are eager to help. So first, how can the companies in Ukraine, how can you help the best right now in this situation? And how can other companies in Europe help Ukraine right now?
So in general, I should say that we may be the one and only export sector in Ukraine which is still working and continuing to work, and so this is important to support this business just in basic things. So we have normal conditions. We have offices, we have remote offices and facilities, and people can work normally with good internet connections, and so there is no problem. So we have also some Starlink equipment delivered to Ukraine. Of course, it's not essential part of our network, but for those who have maybe different issues with internet connections, it can be partially compensated by Starlink equipment. But in general, due to the good coverage of internet and good channels, we have these uninterruptible processes. Regarding how to help, I would like to say that now maybe the most realistic and valuable action is to continue existing contracts with the companies, with development centers in Ukraine. I should say that 100% of companies have only people in Ukraine, because we have diversified offices. We have people in other European countries, in America, thus we can be more flexible in delivering tasks and delivering services. So this is maybe the main thing our customer can do to continue contracts. If they need some updates regarding security, regarding some other issues, technical issues, I think I'm sure that companies will provide this information to them. And this is important to be safe and to understand that process is okay and everything will be delivered to customers. So I mean that continue contracts. This is main. And if it's possible, of course, considering some new tasks and contracts, why not? At least at this period of time, at this period of situation, like it's going now.
Yeah. So how do you see, I mean, for your employees, you said, I think you said that 12% of your of the people in the industry have been sent to serve in the army.
2%.
Okay, so 2%. I mean, so the majority of the staff, I mean, how has it impacted their lives? Is it something that I mean, is it right now everything is functioning, everything is running, and the best you can do is basically to continue, you are saying, right? But are there any interruptions in your life or your daily life that you see right now, salaries, transactions, you know, is it still a disruption for your businesses and for your employees?
Not yet, because we have absolutely, so banking system is working and all transactions, money transactions available, everything is working, and we can pay for goods and services inside Ukraine by cards. Wireless transfers, not a problem. Again, we should understand that out of this quantity of IT specialists, 26% women. So women can relocate to Europe, and our partners and associations ready to provide some office space, etc., to continue this work. I mean, women who work in IT directly, IT specialists. Men still in Ukraine, and we continue our work from remote points and some safe places from the part of Ukraine which is safe. And as well, even we have some people in capital and some cities around, but it's also safe, more or less safe.
Great, thank you so much. So looking 10 years ahead, let's hope that this will not last 10 years, but that we pray that this will end very fast, and that there will be a solution where Ukraine can also stay very close to Europe, if not within Europe, which of course we hope for, then very, very close to Europe. I mean, how do you see the ICT sector? I mean, do you see yourself as a part of the ecosystem of Europe already? Or is this like something that will also be, you will come even closer with the companies and the industries as this will end? Where will we be in 10 years? What's the optimal situation for the industry?
So Cecilia, so it's a good question, but making forecast for 10 years, I'm not ready to announce such forecasts. But anyway, we should be based on the thing that before this war, Ukrainian industry was global, and we work for global markets. So I think no changes in this, because global demand is on the global market. So if we will manage to save country, to save industry, it will be one of the leading economy sector, which will help Ukraine to grow and to stand to rebuild the country. So, and it doesn't matter whether our customers in Europe or globally in United States, etc. So I think if we manage to survive and support the industry in these hard times, it will be one of the leading sectors as well as it was before. Now we have all, let's say, presuppositions to keep at least a normal level, about 70-80% of productivity now in this, even in these conditions, because no one believed that Ukraine will stand more than 3 days, but now we stand for 20 days, and exactly the same for business. Business is very motivated, very creative, and how to say, we are motivated to concentrate all resources for lowering risks for our customers and keeping our business ongoing. So this is proved now for these days. Yeah, what will be next? It depends of many things, but my forecast is if we will overcome this, everything will be completed. The war was stopped, will be stopped. We will continue our work on global for global market.
Thank you so much. So maybe last question. I mean, so you are also the leader of IT Ukraine and one of our membership organizations. How is the organization right now? Are you fully functioning also, and your employees, safe and really up and running?
Yes, exactly. We have our team is operating in normal regime. Some of people is being relocated to right now, but some people working. But we just totally we reestablished and make a prioritized other projects. Now we just make a change the structure of our projects, of course, due to the current situation, and we really support our members. We support Ukraine, we support government, and we support our international activities on the high level. Our team is fully functioning, and we are motivated and brave to continue our work remotely. We just learned lessons how to work remotely before. For 2 years before we get used to it, and now minor changes, but the same. I mean, regarding the work and structure and management. And we have still, by the way, we have new members still. We now have plus 5 new members in association since war started. So it means that we bring value to our members, and they join us as well, even in this time.
Great. So you're really you feel the shoulder of the industry, both in I guess the organizations, your brother and sister organizations in Digital Europe, but also with new members joining IT Ukraine.
Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe just one question, a little bit last question on a bit of content, right? I mean, there's been a lot of talks on misinformation, on the ability of getting real media knowledge. How is the situation in Ukraine right now? Is it still possible to basically acquire, lines to real information?
In Ukraine? Exactly.
Yeah.
So of course we have absolutely transparent and let's say correct media environment here. The issue is what they have in Russia, for example, or other countries, because in Ukraine we totally have all information from different sources, and they're absolutely independent and they absolutely objective. They have a clear picture what is going on, and we even start now reading news just in the morning and the evening, because we have uninterruptible flow of news, videos, other information. Because if you want to get some information directly, you can go to special Facebook groups, Telegram groups, directly contact some people who is on exactly the same place, yes, which you're interested about, yeah. And so you can get any information regarding people, humanitarian aid, some statuses on the battlefields, etc. Absolutely all information. And again, I think that the most important this information to be somehow delivered to Russia and other countries who is thinking that this is just ordinary operation, not war, and this is maybe the main. But again, our people involved in, maybe you have seen this video with Paris bombing, yes, etc. This media produced by some media holdings in Ukraine, again, to show up this, because it's important to tell people what can be, not only what is going on, but what can be, and make some steps forward to defend not only Ukraine but Europe. This is the example, yeah. So we have absolutely transparent and normal environment as for information, and getting access for information is absolutely free and available.
Yeah, you told me, and of course this is also a part of it, us giving you a platform to basically tell what is going on and how the industry is doing, and I know that you've been also very active on basically the communication side. So maybe we have a question in the chat. before I turn to the two other speakers. They are asking what exactly is Digital Europe offering, and what did they do, what documents, etc. So on the first day, we were quite fast to make a public statement of full support to Ukraine and of course to our industry also. Then second of all, I mean, we have been working with our members on also some critical supply on equipment. As I said, on infrastructure, there are components missing in the conflict areas. The infrastructure, the digital infrastructure is broken. So we have been supporting also supply on that. Many of our companies, if you go, maybe I can ask Samia, who's next to me here, to drop in the chat. We have a website with all our initiatives. And last but not least, there was a council meeting last week or the week before, where we basically communicated to all the leaders, the European leaders, that we support the Ukraine, that we are pro sanctions, and that we should support both a supply of equipment, cybersecurity help, and many other things directly from the European Union to Ukraine. Apart from that, we have donated, of course, aid, humanitarian money to humanitarian aid, and many of us here in Digital Europe internally have also received refugees in our houses. So I would say we have done nearly everything we can. Nothing will be enough. I think this is a situation where we all wish that we could do even more, and feel a little bit powerless and sometimes desperate to do even more than we do. But I would say we stand really shoulder against shoulder, and we are talking directly to the leaders of EU on these issues, on how to support Ukraine. I hope that answers your questions, the question in the chat. So maybe now turning to thank you so much, Konstantin, for your leadership. Thank you so much for driving the industry in Ukraine now and also after the war, soon, hopefully very soon. Thank you for your, how can you say, your leadership also in resilience. I think that many other countries in Europe and the European Union in general, they have a lot to learn from thinking ahead, not thinking this will never happen, but thinking if it happens, how will we actually interact with speed. So let me turn to Igor and Marta. You are both leaders of companies. So let me first let me ask you to introduce yourself and just give a small pitch on what your companies are doing, and then let's go into a question and answers on the concrete situation. Marta, please go ahead.
Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you so much, Digital Europe, for a great event for us. Now it's really important to talk, so thank you for the chance. My name is Marta Romaniak. I'm Managing Director of Avenga, Ukraine. Avenga is a global international company. We are more than 3,500 people in Ukraine, Poland, Germany, Asia, and United States. In Ukraine, we have more than 1,200 people. Our offices are located in 8 locations: Kyiv, Lviv, Khmelnytsky, Lutsk. Also, we are in Cherkasy, Poltava, Kharkiv. So actually now we had a chance to face all of the challenges connected with war and all of let's not say problem, it's not problem, all of the horrors that we face during the days, and we continue to do it. Basically we work in different areas. Actually, we work in automotive, we work in pharmaceutical, we work in digital, we work in bank services. We are providing IT services and digital transformation to our clients in all of the world, mostly in the United States and also in Europe. So it's briefly about Avenga Ukraine and Avenga-Dahl.
Thank you so much. Igor, let's turn to your company.
Hi everyone, Cecilia and Digital Europe and everyone, thank you for an opportunity to talk on such a great event and all the support you provide to Ukraine and IT industry in particular. My name is Igor and I'm a Senior Director of Grid Dynamics. Grid Dynamics is a global American public company operating mainly in Western Europe and the United States, and globally we have more than 3,500 actually people in the world, and more than 1,200 of them are working from our 4 offices in Ukraine. Those are Kyiv, Kharkiv, Dnipro, and Lviv. And only Lviv was not actually affected by this war yet, and is relatively safe. So we provide IT consulting, really complex IT consulting and digital transformation services to global brands, as well as startups all over the world. And yeah, basically nowadays we continue doing so, as Konstantin mentioned. More than 80% of our staff is fully productive, and we are working on the like getting back to the work and like increasing this percentage as well. So people is our main asset and is our main priority. So the first thing we did since the 24th of February, we moved all our people, or the majority of them, to safe locations, and we ensured their safety of their families, and getting back to work as soon as possible. So yeah, please feel free to ask any questions. We are completely open to describe the situation.
Thank you so much. So Marta, let me turn to you first. I mean, contingency plans, right? Sitting in you know, Brussels or Copenhagen or Berlin, you know, contingency plan is like something you would not even think about, you know, how do we continue during war? But I guess that you, of course, with the background of 2014 and everything, I mean, how did you prepare this? So how could you move this quickly? I mean, how do you do a contingency plan, and what does it even mean?
Honestly, Cecilia, war, let's say, did not catch us unprepared, you know, because being in Ukraine, we felt that something going wrong and we should be ready. So a long time ago, we have transferred our critical infrastructure and data to the secure environment into the United States and Europe. And, you know, when everything has started, we understand that we have 2 main goals. First goal is to take care of our people, of course. And second, it's to continue fulfill the commitments to our client. Talking about people, I think that our acts are very similar now about all of the industry. What we do, we relocate our people from east of Ukraine to the more safety place in the west of Ukraine. And also, such as we are a global company, we have opportunity to relocate our employees to Germany, to Poland, etc. Of course, now it's not possible because we know that we have that our IT specialist men are not able to cross the border. So we can talk just about ladies, but it's really great because we could help 300 people to go abroad to safety places. I mean, women with kids. It's not just our employees, ladies, but it's also wives of our employees, of our IT professionals, of our specialists. And, you know, it's really helps to our professionals to feel more safety and secure, because first of all, when their kids and wives are in safety places, they feel more comfortable in all of that uncomfortable situation. So yeah, 300 people, you know, and it's pretty big amount, and we still continue to do it because still some our specialists need some help who stuck in the east of Ukraine. And you know, our working day pretty changed, because now every day our HRs are calling every one of our IT specialists to ask, how are you, where are you, maybe you need some help. And it's daily job that we should provide, and we want to do it because it's all about safety of our specialists. It's all about safety and protection of our professionals. One more important thing is, of course, about our clients. And we are really happy because we do not lose any clients, and it's very important for us. As long as we can fulfill the commitments, so long we can get revenue, we can support people, and we can support country. So, you know, now it's do business in Ukraine. It's not about your like personal, let's say, joy. It's also that helps you to support country in that so hard moment. As Konstantin mentioned, that IT industry made a big effort, and it's a big game changer of economy of Ukraine, you know. So our value in Ukraine is really high, and we should continue to work. And for us, it's very important to continue to work. So we are trying to create the most safety conditions for our specialists to work and to backup them as much as is possible. But in general, of course, the situation is really complicated and every day is very unpredictable. But we are trying to move forward, and to do our work. This is important, to do our work as so good as we can. So I'm very thankful because, company is worked. We have 95 specialists on board that work every day, and it's helped us to first of all to execute our business continuity plan, because it's not possible to do it without people.
Thank you so much. So turning to you, Igor, also please, how many people are still working, and were you able to get, your implemented, was it easy to implement your contingency plan? And maybe just the last question, so I'll give you 3 questions in one. How do you see that other European companies can help?
A good question, Cecilia. Thank you. So as I mentioned, currently about 80% of our people are working in relatively safe locations. So the first thing we did on 24th of February, we actually enforced our business continuity plan, which was updated several months before, once we got the first signs that the situation may escalate to full-scale war. So the majority of our people were located in Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Dnipro, in eastern part and central part of Ukraine, and it meant that we needed to act really fast. So we ordered transportation. It was really expensive. It was really hard to arrange because no one wanted to risk their life and to bring our people, throughout Ukraine during the military action. And we found all means to do it quickly, and we still do it. Basically, some of our people are still working in Kyiv, and some of them want to relocate. So we wait till the moment when it becomes more or less safe, and then we just evacuate the rest of the people to the western part. So as of now, we evacuated around 95–97% of our people to western part, which is relatively safe now. And also similar to Avenga and other companies in Ukraine, we are still moving our women, our employees, and the families, the wives and children of our employees who can't live together with their men. We are moving them to our European offices in Poland, in Moldova, in Serbia, and some of them are moving further to the Netherlands, to Germany, to safe places where they have some relatives. So basically, I think we did a good job, even though it was really, really challenging given the transportation issues, the traffic jams, and the risk to basically your life when you are going through such a dangerous areas. And also, as one of the main priorities, we continue serving our clients. On the majority of our projects, delivery is still kind of in the green zone. Even if we lost some people, for example, they are still not evacuated, or they can't be 100% productive. So in these cases, we replace those people with our colleagues from other locations in order to, support the delivery. So basically, what I can say, our company, as the whole Ukraine, basically, it became really united and big. And regardless of the position, all the people, especially in our Lviv office, were supporting this relocation, we're helping, volunteering, meeting our employees and their families, putting them in buses and helping them to get to Poland. So basically, we became really united to overcome all of these huge challenges and horrors. So and the third priority thing, I would say, but also important, is the equipment. So we started caring about our IT assets just recently, when we managed the majority of things with people. So we managed to deliver our equipment from Kharkiv and Kyiv offices to Western Ukraine as well, even though the majority of our IT assets are located in highly secure cloud services in the United States and Europe. So basically, I can say that all these three parts of our contingency, like business continuity plan, were executed. It was hard, but we did our best in order to complete it.
Thank you so much. So maybe turning a little bit to the how can other companies help? I mean, do you see that there is anything? I mean, you are talking to 36,000 companies now around the world. I mean, how do you see other companies can help Ukraine right now?
Well, if you're talking about the clients, then I fully support Konstantin that continuing having contracts with us is the best support. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that basically informational support. So if companies and their employees and their leadership will be spreading the word about Ukraine and about what is really going on here, and I think European governments and leadership will get this kind of like push in order to act probably even faster, probably giving us even more support and even more help in order to complete this battle for the future of Ukraine, future of Europe, and the whole civilized world. So informational support, continuing contracts with us, and basically, I would say that these are two main priorities.
Yeah, and of course also the sanctions. I mean, I think we can proudly say that Europe has taken an absolute leader situation in pushing sanctions against Russia. So let me turn to you, Marta. Marta, if you were to give an advice to to other companies for the future on this, what would that be?
First of all, we should be really always prepared, for everything, because we live in so unpredictable times. Second, this bad lesson shows us that we should move more into diversity in our companies, because now what we see is that women are really, really needed in IT market. And I'm very happy that now in Ukraine we have a lot of schools, a lot of programs about girls in IT, women in IT, but we should move forward more. I mean, now around 30% we have ladies in IT in all of Ukrainian market, but we should move forward into diversity. It's to take 50-50. And, it's all about reputation. We should keep our reputation because, Ukrainian IT, it's not new for global market. We are on market more than 20 years. There's a bunch of trustful companies, so it's nothing new. And, we just should what we want. We just want to serve our clients, and we want to grow. We want to move forward because this area is really important for Ukraine. We are creating a lot of workplaces. And it's important to move forward, and it's important to become more strong and to become more united, because it's also was a great lesson for us how to become more united, because all industry work in one scenario now. And it's a really good sign, for all of our specialists. It's a really good sign for the world that we can be united, we can be strong. And even in that unpredictable and horror events, we still can serve our clients, and we can still deliver the solutions, and we can we can still bring revenue to this country. And I think this is important, and it's that what we should work more and improve it. But for that, of course, we need a lot of help of Europe about going Ukraine into European Union, about going Ukraine into NATO, to feel more safe in Ukraine, and not to think how to move our people to other locations on board or how to open our offices on board. We want to feel safe here in Ukraine. So for that also we need a lot of support of the world.
Thank you so much. So maybe just I wanted to comment on one of the questions in the chat, which is like, how is the infrastructure, as says telecom networks, doing in Ukraine? I mean, I can tell you what I know. First of all, I mean, it's still up and running. The Ukrainian telecom operators are still running, and they're running for free, and they're trying to support everything they can. But of course, as we know, in battle zones, the infrastructure is vulnerable, and there is a constant supply and really a try from Europe to bring all the components that are needed basically to keep the infrastructure going and to make sure that both in conflict area and in non-conflict areas there is the option of communicating. I don't want to be more specific, but it's definitely one of the things that we know is being worked on, and it is of course vulnerable if you cannot communicate. So maybe I just want to take the chance in these last 5 minutes to ask Marina from Moldova, who's the leader of our IT association in Moldova. If you are here, if you are online, if you can unmute yourself.
Yep, I'm here. I didn't find yet the panelist link, so I'll probably just stay with only my microphone on. First, hello to our friends from Ukraine. And as you well know, Moldova is here to help and contribute with everything we can. Let us know, and that's a message for every IT company in Ukraine that needs temporary relocation of accounts or anything like that. If you have any people in Moldova and need offices, all IT companies are ready to host the teams, to host the companies for a specific period of time. It can be a month, it can be a couple of weeks until you see what you can do next. And of course, also Moldova is opened as a country to first to think of ways of helping businesses in Ukraine. If you need anything specific, like, I don't know, you have clients that specifically don't want you to legally be in Ukraine, but you still want to keep your teams up and running and operating there, you can also address our authorities. They are trying to think of solutions like short-term or temporary legal forms for Ukrainian teams. Again, until everything is getting better, and then you can go back where you are. We also have our teams which can help you deliver some of the contracts or some of the services in case that's an issue, or some of your team members are currently not available for that specific issue. We are also in touch with the IT association in Vinica, and with Konstantin. We had a couple of discussions. Again, if you have anyone from Ukraine coming to Moldova, it's already a little bit complicated with the shelters and everything, but we will find a place for anyone in this area. Of course, we understand only women and children are coming. Specifically because of that, please let us know if we can help anyhow, including taking your team members or your family team members from the border and bringing them to Chisinau or any other places that are relevant for Moldova. I also want to confirm that the telecom operators in Ukraine are working. We have all our Moldovan telecoms within the association, and basically we don't see any issues, at least at the border that we have with Ukraine. And based on the roaming traffics that we get from Ukraine, based on the tariffs that were currently changed, and a lot of Ukrainians that are in Moldova, it seems that more or less the coverage is okay. Especially in all areas which are not directly under attack. Lvov is a location that seems to have one of the best coverage so far. Yeah, I think that's it on our side. I'll also leave our contacts in the chat. In case there is anything else we can do, please let us know. But we're with you guys and everything.
Thank you so much, Marina, from
Thank you, Marina.
The association in Moldova. And I think we could have many of our other associations also saying the same. I want to thank you, all of you, for basically participating today. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for standing strong in time of trouble. We will also leave the contact details of Digital Europe in the chat. So if anybody wants to get in touch, wants to know more, please contact us. And not least, we will stand strong with the IT industry in Ukraine, Moldova, of course, with any of our friends who are basically supporting the situation in Ukraine. Thank you so much for your leadership, and let's stick together.